Welcome to this week's edition of The Blitz. On today's show, we will have interim head coach TJ Weist and leading wide receiver Jeremy Davis. And as usual, Sean Mulcahy will be here for Mulcahy's matchup. So thanks for tuning in. And now, The Blitz. All right, Sean, well, we've had a week off from the Blitz with our bye week, but it's nice to be sitting in these seats again.
It's great to be back. Thanks for having me.
All right, now the Huskies are coming off that staggering 41-12 loss against Buffalo. It was a tough one to watch as the Bulls just kept charging. Can you take us through this game?
Sure. Very lethargic on any side of the ball for UConn, special teams, defense, offense. Both lines were a little concerning for me. The offensive line was not getting much push. Once again, there was no establishment of the running game, and that led to Chandler Whitmer having to pass the ball a lot more, and that led to more turnovers from pressure from the opposing defense. So give them some credit. Buffalo looks a little bit better than we thought. And then with that, you're going to get sacked a lot more. So turnovers and sacks really hurt. Defensively, they didn't stop much anything up front as well, so that was a little disheartening too.
Now let's take a closer look at those offensive stats. They're not fun ones to look at. 5 turnovers, sacked 5 times, and 0 second half points. Why no production?
It's a great question. Again, I want to start with the offensive and defensive line. It always starts up front. You get a lot of your emotion and your enthusiasm and your leadership from those guys. They're the maulers. They're, the tough guys, the bouncers at the bar, if you will. And you didn't see much fight out of them. Now, I don't want to say they didn't try, but you need more energy and a lot more out of them. I also saw a lack of leadership from both sides of the ball. I don't want to single out anyone, but I expect more out of Yawan Smallwin and Chandler Whitmer at quarterback. But, you got to have playmakers. Obviously, some guys played better than others, like Jeremy Davis. But, again, you got to make plays and you have to establish the run, and they didn't do that.
Now, the previous week against Michigan, we saw a strong defense, but we saw more holes against Buffalo. There were a handful of big plays that Buffalo had that they just capitalized on. Where do you see the biggest issues in this defense? I
still think the defense is pretty strong. Give credit to Buffalo. They put 42 points up on a good Eastern Michigan team the previous week. So, they're a good opponent. Defensively, UConn still has great players up front, in the middle, and in the secondary. They're in the right position. The coaches are calling the right defense. They just need to make plays. That's what it comes down to. A couple missed tackles, maybe just missing an interception here or a sack. They're in the right spot. They just really need to, make that play.
And with that loss, the Huskies fell to 0-4 on the season. It caused a change in leadership. Paul Pasqualoni was let go, and TJ Weist has been moved up as the new interim head coach. Now, it's never good to see a coach go in the middle of a season, but was this move necessary?
It was, and you've seen some other schools do it in the country this past few weeks. It happened at USC, one of the biggest names in all of college football. When you're given an opportunity to succeed and you've had previous experience, you have a lot more to attain, and that just didn't happen with Coach Pasqualoni and assistant coach George DeLeon. So I think the change was necessary. I like the fact that most of the staff was kept on hands because they do well with the players. If you take everyone out, then you have no shot for winning a game. These guys, they still have opportunities to win games here. I mean, they could ride out the season and win and still go to a bowl game.
Mm-hmm. All right, thanks, Sean. Thanks for the insight. We'll be checking back in with you a little later.
Thanks, Emily.
All right, fans, now let's take a look at highlights from UConn versus Buffalo.
Pass is complete.
Good. Atta babe. Atta babe. Hey, go, Jake. Pass! Come on, homie. Come on, homie. Go, homie. Good ball. Good job.
Brandon Oliver carry.
Damn, that's it. Good job, Lyle.
Holmes is in for the touchdown. 2-yard touchdown run.
It's time now for Coach's Corner. I am joined by the new interim head coach, TJ Weiss. Thanks for coming back on the show, Coach.
Well, thank you for having me.
So a new change is upon us now for UConn football. It seems like you've been embracing this role as you'll finish off the season as the head coach here. How have you liked taking over that role?
It's been great. It was hard at first. I really don't have a choice in how I feel about it right now because I have to lead the team. It was hard taking over for Coach Pasqualoni, for the whole staff, because going through that, we have such respect for him. From that standpoint, we're loyal to him, but we have to make a change and go in a new direction and get this team focused to beat South Florida.
And there have been many changes since you've taken over. The biggest one is seeing the music being played at the beginning of practice. You've been reaching out to the community, went and met people at the student union. Now, these are small things, but in the grand scheme of them, why is it important for you to make these kind of changes?
I think people need to understand the direction that this staff is going to have, the feeling that we're going to have, the involvement, with the community, with the campus, with the alumni and those things, and making sure they're involved, putting a good product on the field from that standpoint. So I think it's going to happen naturally with our personality as a staff, with my personality. Our focus is on this team right now. I know I have some duties to, share what we're doing with the team, but our team needs us. I need to focus on them. I need to get them focused on winning, putting a good product on the field, representing the university with class, and that's where all of our energy really is going.
All right, and the biggest change that we can see on the actual field has been naming true freshman Tim Boyle as the starting quarterback. What is it about him? Why do you think that he's ready, and why did you guys need to make that change to position him under center going forward?
I think he's shown good maturity for us, the ability to handle decisions, make good decisions under pressure situations so far, throughout camp. He's shown maturity on and off the field with this film study. But the biggest thing is him making plays, decision-making, handling the offense, having a command presence, so far from that standpoint, understanding the scheme, understanding our philosophy, getting players to believe in him, every day by his work ethic. He's shown us those good things enough for us to say, you're going to be the starter. Now it's time for the test of the game, and he's going to earn his respect from everybody, from our players, from our coaches, from the UConn family, everybody involved, that he's going to earn respect on the field.
Great. Now, can you take us through a little bit of the changes through the coaching staff? What new responsibilities do we have among the staff? How has your role changed, and do you expect any more changes throughout the rest of the season?
Right now, we've moved Mike Foley to the offensive line, which he coached the offensive line back in 2010 with the Fiesta Bowl, so he's very familiar with that role. He's going to come in. He's come in and done a great job giving his personality or building his personality with that position. Luckily, we had an off week, so he had time to really change things a little bit, give it his style and work through some situations. So that's our major change. We haven't hired anybody else. We're just letting that develop as we go. I've said I don't want to take another coach from another staff that's really active in an active coaching role. I wouldn't want that to happen to us. So I've hesitated doing any of that. But also I'm doing what's best for this team, what's best for this program, and bringing someone else in that I may not be familiar with. I'm not ready to do that. So we've got good young coaches that have taken over. They've done a good job from that standpoint. We'll evaluate it as we go, this game and every game, and how much we need another coach, if we need another coach. We haven't made that decision. We haven't put a time frame on it from that standpoint. We've had good practices so far. Everything else is the same from the standpoint of the defensive coaches. They've stayed where they are. I'm going to be the offensive coordinator. I'm going to call the plays. I'm working closely with our offensive coaches, Kermit Buggs, Shane Day, and Mike Foley, and putting the game plan together. Game day, I'm going to be on the field. Mike Foley's going to be on the field with the offensive line. Shane Day's going to move up to the box. Kermit Buggs, our special teams coordinator and running back coach, he's going to move up to the box. It's a big change, but every coach in his career has gone through all those changes. I've called plays on the field. I've called them in the box. I've spent a lot of my time on the field coaching receivers, So we're used to all those things. We'll work together as an offensive staff to see the looks. They'll be my eyes in the box from a calling play standpoint, and we'll do a great job from that standpoint.
Alrighty, and we do take on USF this weekend, starting up conference play. The players keep saying that they need to do the little things better. After every game, they felt like it was just the little things. What specifically are you hoping that this team can do differently to make sure you get that first win in conference and for the season?
It's about execution, especially in the critical situations. Any coach is going to talk about we've got to score points. You know, at any point, red zone especially, but we have to score more points than they do. That's the number one factor. Number two, the second factor is turnovers. We can't have turnovers, and we've got to force turnovers to win the game. So that's always our focus, even more now. Overall, from that standpoint, is execution of the offense and the defense. We don't have to reinvent the offense. We don't have to reinvent anything on defense. We just have to play better football, more sound football.
Well, we do have somewhat of a new era here at UConn football. I know we're all really excited to see the team come out this weekend a little bit reinvigorated and ready to go. So thanks so much for being here today, Coach.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right, fans, now let's take a head out to campus for a little Know Your Foe. For this week's edition of Know Your Foe, we're out here in front of Gamble Pavilion to stop people on campus to find out how much they know about our next opponent, the USF Bulls. Do you know what team UConn football is playing this weekend?
USF.
USF.
University of South Florida.
They're playing South Florida.
UCF.
The other F.
USF. There we go.
I'm not sure.
Off to a good start.
USF, University of South Florida.
And what is their mascot?
Bull.
The Bulls.
I think it's a bull.
The Bulldogs? Bull something. Bull Sharks. Bull Heads. I don't know.
You're trying too hard. Just shorten it.
Bulls. Oh, there we go.
It's a bull.
The Bull.
They're a bull. The Bulls.
What are their colors?
I have not a clue.
Green and gold.
Green and gold.
Green and gold.
Green and kind of yellow.
Dark green and yellow.
What conference are they in?
The American Athletic Conference. The AAC. No. Oh yeah, the AAC.
Not a clue.
The American Athletic Conference.
I have no idea.
It's the same one that we're in.
Oh, is it the Colonial? American. Okay, that's it. American.
The new AAC, the American Athletic Conference.
The American, one we're in.
Where are they located?
In Tampa, Florida.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa.
Southern Florida.
Southern Florida.
South Florida.
What is the city of Tampa's biggest export?
Oranges.
Oranges.
Tea?
Why do you say that?
I don't know. It was the first thing. Tampa, tea came to my mind. I don't know.
My answer probably isn't appropriate for camera.
Oranges.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I'm gonna have to say oranges.
Tampa. Fish, maybe?
Fish.
We have played USF 10 times. What do you think our record is between the teams?
Say, give us 75, like 7 out of 10.
8-2.
8-3 or 8-2 UConn.
I'd say UConn is 7-3 against them.
6-4.
Very close. It's 5-5.
Oh, okay.
UConn's won 6 times, maybe?
I'm gonna say we're 6-4.
Okay, we're actually 5-5, but that was close. Can you name the 3 professional teams that play in Tampa?
The Tampa Bay Rays, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yes, very good.
Do they still have the Rays? Tampa Rays, yeah. The Buccaneers. There's a hockey team, right? The Lightning.
Yeah.
Is that all of them?
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's all I've got.
Baseball.
Oh, okay. The Rays.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, and ice hockey.
I don't know anything about hockey.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tampa Bay Rays,
That's pretty much all I got.
Ice hockey team, got anything?
Tampa Bay Lightning.
There's the Tampa Bay Rays. There's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Buccaneers. That's it.
What about baseball?
Don't follow baseball.
How about hockey?
Don't follow hockey.
Okay, the Buccaneers it is. On average, how many days a year does Tampa get sunshine?
Oh, over half. I would say we're going to go specific, 235.
235. I like the specificness, but it's actually 361.
Wow, really? Well, I'll move to Tampa.
275.
Like 320.
300. A lot.
360.
Let's say 270.
It's actually 361.
You'd think with the humidity there'd be more clouds or something.
What professional baseball team has their spring training in Tampa?
Red Sox.
Better than the Red Sox.
There's no one better than the Red Sox.
The Yankees.
The Yankees.
Don't tell me it's the Yankees. Oh.
I'm gonna say the Yankees because it's not the Red Sox.
That's correct. It's the Yankees.
It's nice. I'm good at this.
What Major League Baseball team has their spring training in Tampa?
The Yankees? Oh, yeah. Go Yankees.
Joining us now on set is wide receiver Jeremy Davis. Thanks for being here today, Jeremy.
Thanks for having me.
All right, the first thing that we have to talk about is the change that we've seen in this team. Coach Paul Pasqualoni being let go and your position coach, TJ Weiss, stepping in to take the interim spot. How has this team handled such a big change?
It's been great. A guy that I personally have a relationship with because he was my receiver coach, and coming to be head coach, it's pretty amusing because it's like, I know this guy's and his jokes and how he acts, but now he has to have a more mature approach to the new position. But it's great. He brings that fire and that mentality, the tempo to the practice, and just around the atmosphere of the building. So it's been great.
And Coach Weiss did talk a little bit earlier about some of the changes that we've seen through this practices and through this time. How have you guys liked some of those changes, and how have they affected daily life with UConn football?
It's been great. Like I said, it's really fun. He had the music playing because I remember me and Deshaun Fox walking up the hill. He was like, "What's that noise? What's that noise?" We thought it was a car playing like another building. So we said, "Let's run up the hill." And we saw his music. And it was like, oh, so, we started getting hype. A good way to start off the practice. So everyone was motivated. Like, let's go and let's also have fun, but then work hard at the same time.
Right, and we did have this realignment, but we still do need to see the production out of the players. What have you guys focused in on practice to ensure success with this change?
Obviously, we got to make sure we enjoy football again. Techniques and fundamental, those things all the time, in position and also as a team.
And one of the bright spots throughout some of these tough games has been the wide receiving core. You and Shaquem have really stepped up the leadership roles, and you personally lead the team with 308 yards on the season. What have you seen in yourself as far as growth and within your core to make your group such a threat?
Like I said, we had a great coach in TJ Weiss, a guy who actually played the wide receiver position in college. And coached it at numerous schools, and now, bringing all that experience he had and bringing it to us, we're learning little things that we never knew before, watching professionals do it, as in Jerry Rice, Michael Irvin, and other, big-name guys. And when he brings that teaching to us, we learn it, and now we just take a different approach to the game.
All right, and next up we have USF, the first conference game of the season. They give up 200 passing yards per game, but they do have some playmakers. What do you know so far about the Bulls, and how do you plan on attacking their secondary?
Yeah, they've done a great job, like you say. Even though they gave up 200 yards, you can't sleep on any team. Every team's another team. Like we always say, every team puts on their helmet just alike, puts on their pants just alike. So I'm not going to sleep on them. I'm going to take the same approach I would do any other DB, any other team. That's what y'all do as a whole unit.
Well, now we know you're going to go out and do well against USF, but we're going to put you to the test here in a game that we like to call 3 and out.
Okay.
All right, how this works is I'm going to ask you 3 questions about yourself, and you give me the first answer that comes to mind. Then we're going to do it again with your teammates. You ready to go?
Let's go.
Okay, first question. If you had to only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Chipotle.
Okay. Now you rock the dreads. How long has it been since you last cut your hair?
7th grade.
7th grade. Wow, that's a long time. What is your favorite childhood game that you wish that you still played?
Best shortstop and kickball.
Kickball it is. Okay. 3 and out the other side. Which of your teammates is the most messy and which is the neatest?
Messy, I have to go with Taylor Mack. And neatness, I have to go with Chandler Whitmer.
Okay, that makes sense. Which teammate would you say is the best dressed?
I'm about to go with my locker neighbor and say Brian LaMelle.
Okay, fellow wide receiver, nice. Lastly, what is one thing you want football fans to know about Taylor Mack?
He can't throw away his food at all. Like if he has food, he'll save it, and then when you try to throw it away, he won't let you.
Okay, a bit of a hoarder?
Yes, definitely.
All right, Jeremy, well, thank you so much for being here with us today. We're all excited to see this new energy coming out against the Bulls.
No problem, thanks for having me.
Now let's head back to Mulcahy's matchup. We are back now with Sean to break down our next opponent, the USF Bulls. Now they're 1-4 on the season, coming off of an upset over Cincinnati. They put up 26 points in that game, but they were off of 4 field goals and 2 touchdowns off of turnovers. What have we learned so far about the Bulls this season?
Well, those stats are great, and they tell me 2 things right off the bat: that their defense is playing really well, soundly, making plays, which you want from a defense, and their special teams are solid. I mean, when you have a kicker making 4 field goals, no matter where the distance is, that's really helping the team. It's given pressure off the offense and the defense. So it should be a defensive battle. I'd say UConn's defense has been playing pretty well lately. You know, you have some mishaps there, missed tackles, but overall they've done well, and the Bulls have been playing pretty well as well.
And the Bulls' biggest offensive threat is their running back, Marcus Shaw. He opened the season with an 80-yard touchdown run in the very first play of the season, but he came out in the last game with injury, and right now he's questionable for the game against UConn. How do you see that playing a role in their offense?
That, again, is going to take pressure off UConn's defense. You know, it's going to add pressure to the South Florida Bulls quarterback, Stephen Bench, and then when you have a new running back coming in off the bench, pardon the pun, you never know what to expect. Obviously, he's not as good as Marcus Shaw, because Marcus Shaw has proved to be the #1 running back. But UConn's defense needs to be aware of what they have out of the backfield. There might be some different plays. It might not be the same offensive scheme. So pay close attention to that.
All right, and defensively, the Bulls give up more passing yards than they do rushing, and UConn produces more in the air, so we like that matchup. But the Bulls did force 12 turnovers already this season, with a freshman quarterback in Tim Boyle coming in. How do you see this matchup?
It reminds me, Tim's wearing the same number as a freshman quarterback that I played with, Dan Orlovsky. He had a lot of special moments as a freshman. What teams like to do when a new quarterback comes in, regardless of rank or school, they put a lot of pressure on them. They're going to show them some new defensive fronts. They're going to blitz from the corner. They're going to blitz from the safety position, maybe outside on the boundary. So Tim's going to have a lot of pressure, and in that case, they have to establish the run, and they need to dink and dunk to make those passes short. You know, 3-step drop, something in the flat, maybe something to Jeremy Davis or Shaquem Phillips. Very quick, you know, get the ball to the athletes.
So we've got homecoming weekend, plenty of changes, new energy, and a team that's really eager for their first win. How do you see the Huskies coming out against the Bulls?
I look for a W. I mean, you said it right there. It's homecoming. They have a new, fresh look. It's almost like they can start the season from scratch right now. They're at home. They've got to take advantage of these 7 home games compared to 5 road games, and I think that starts Saturday.
Well, the Huskies will take on the South Florida Bulls Saturday, October 12th. The game is at noon, and it will be the American featured game of the week on SNY. And, of course, you can always listen on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And since it's homecoming, all the alumni around the area should be going to the game and supporting the Huskies and watch them get their first victory of the season.
Thanks for tuning in to The Blitz. With Sean Mulcahy, I'm Emily Noonan. For Huskies All Access. We'll see you out there.